Thank you. Okay, I have would like to welcome you all to a very interesting call. We've been on conference for, gosh, hours and hours. Most recently, what, 2 hours, Hammer?
Yeah, at least 2 hours.
Okay, and based on the information that came to us from a variety of sources, and we will be sharing that with you. Hammer may be doing a little more of the talking because of my conditions. But I'd like to do this call at this time. I sent a text out to some of my inner circle. So if you're just joining the call, this is the warning you asked me to give you, and now you're getting it. Okay. I have upgraded the warning to a full-blown watch. This is an official Planet Dinar announcement regarding the revaluation of the Iraqi currency, the dinar. We're advising people that the Intel team here has elected to declare a revaluation warning. So we're upgrading from a watch to a warning. We feel sure and strong that we may see this happening before the sun shines across the United States in the morning, completely all the way across. That's a big thing to say. We've had some of this for, what, Hammer, 3-4 days now that we've been sitting on.
At least since Wednesday.
Yeah, since we did our call, we had it, what, 2 days before we did our last call. This is Friday.
We started getting it on Tuesday, but we got the bulk on Wednesday. The bulk of the info came on Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah. Now
today is Friday. Today is Friday. Yeah, we got the bulk of the info Wednesday and Thursday morning.
Yeah, actually, it's now Saturday morning in most places.
Right, correct.
So welcome to the pre-dawn stillness of Saturday morning. And for those of you who've been in this game for a long time, I will share with you that I am not in a hot tub and I haven't been drinking. So some of you are laughing right now, and you know what that means. So, okay. And I'm not lonely. All right. We've gotten some, I have I've got a really good source that gave me some rate information from the completion of some meetings over there that contained some interesting stuff. I'm not going to go to sources. And we were talking about a rate that was an initial offering rate that was very much where we thought we might see it initially. I've been talking about the 572 rate with a spread of 45 cents for some time. Hammer started getting that in, what, September, October? Hammer? Is that about right? You there, buddy?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, you were getting the 72 right then. So we're not at that rate, but we thought there might be an opening rate, and then we might wind up at that rate. So the opening rate that we got was well above the original or the old-fashioned rate, which might be the 278 or the 322, depending on what your interpretation is or how much value you put on Saddam's demands from the old days. So we were believing that. We started seeing this 1236 rate. We started hearing some $14 rates. We started hearing some $2 spreads, which sound awfully high. So we did our call not last night anymore. It was Thursday night. We did our call, and we tried to put out as much as we could. And we tried to tell you, kind of between the lines in some ways, that if you had loose ends to tie up before the RV, it was time to start tying. And so then we had another little get-together tonight to discuss the relative merits of this $14 thing. And I'm running out of voice here a little bit, and I don't want to hack everybody up. So, Hammer, can you kind of pick it up from there while I get my lungs?
Yeah, I can probably fill a whole lot of blanks in.
Right.
I think anything's free to talk about at this point. I want to back up a little bit. We got information on Wednesday that the RV was imminent, and we got information that rock solid, dead core, no ifs, ands, or buts. I won't tell you where it came from. I will tell you it came from the Middle East. Blaino got it. I got it. 2 other people got it that are in our group. there was no doubt of it. The only doubt is exactly the time frame. We still don't know the exact time frame. I can tell you I expect to see an RV before Monday morning. Will we? I'm not calling the RV. I am not calling the RV. We expect to see it, though. It could go a few days into it. It could be a little bit longer for that. People are PMing me. I got distracted. I'm just going to look at the screen right now. We have gotten some confirmations. Blaino got some stuff on the rate. I got some stuff on the rate that I got in the high fours. Blaino got something just a little bit lower than that on the rate, and I come to the pass. I believe what the break that Blaino has was more accurate than mine. But I'm thinking that may be, from what we're hearing tonight, that's very possible a rocky rate that we're hearing. As of stuff that I've heard tonight, and we don't know how to take this information. We don't know if this information is true. We don't know if it's false. It's very strange information. I'm being told, not so much Blaino. I'll take the punch on this one if it's wrong, but it's just what I'm being told, and we're very cautious on this info. I can't tell you if it's truth, fact, lies, pull a prank on HammerMan Day. I don't know. But I can tell you that I'm hearing that the rates are based on the amount of debts on different countries. And I have been told the rate in China will be $29. The rate in the USA will be $14.38. The rate in Canada will be $7. The rate in Mexico will be $2. These are what I'm hearing. I have no proof positive on none of this, other than it's coming from the right locations. Could they be lying to me, or could they be lied to? Yes. It don't make sense. It's way out of the ordinary. It should not take place like this. But in all this being said, me and Blaino were just on a conference call with Freefall, Jeffrey, a few other mods. We had a particular banker come on. We had my UST contact come on. We had a retired general come on. And it was just a little group, about 8 or 10 of us. I might have had 12 at one time, but it stayed about 6 or 7 people, all discussing this. And none of us know what to take of it, but we're to the point now that we might believe there's some lividity in this 1438. It could be real. We don't know yet. And the information, I'm going to tell y'all like I was told, that this 1438 is showing in 5 or 6 states. Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, Chicago, and a few others. That's enough to list for now. It's not on the screens the way I was told it was. It is on a Swift signature UST sent message, whatever that means. My Georgia boy was asleep. I couldn't get in touch with him. All I know is the banker we had on the call said it's a secure system that they send this stuff out in. It would be extremely hard to get into and hack. We did not rule that out. We don't know. We do know something serious is going on.
I know what a Swift is, Hammer.
We don't. Yes, put a cat. Or Winterlot. Go ahead, Winterlot.
Yeah,
you might explain some of this.
A Swift is a code, and it's a financial instrument that is, if it's sent from the UST, that is saying that they are paying what they are paying to the banks for the dinar. It's a financial instrument, and it is locked dead solid if that's what they got.
Well, they're calling this a Swift signature. They never said a Swift code.
It's the same thing. A signature and code would be the same thing.
It's the same thing, Hammer.
Okay.
That's one of the things that when that came up, I wrote on my notes, big WOW, wow, because that's not playing. They don't play with that.
Yeah, it's a Swift signature code. Being the code is the signature.
Okay, well, what would this mean being sent in paper and not by computer, not like on a not on a screen? This was a paper.
It could be a hard copy of a transmittal.
It could be sort of like a telegraph type thing. They can
get
it
kind of like
an
email, but official.
Right. They would get it on a printout on the bank system. They've got computers and so on and so forth. They're tied into the Treasury. It would be on their computers.
Yeah. See, all this paperless society stuff we heard about, they still print hard copies and back them up. I mean, if the computer goes down, they got to have the hard copies to go back to.
Exactly.
Okay, so that helped us a lot. But in that point, people, where we stand right now is looks like a very possibility of a soon reevaluation of the Iraqi dinar. Not yet, not official, soon, and it's very possible. I'm not drinking tonight. I haven't been on no date. This is straight HammerMan, been on the phone all day since 9 this morning, nonstop. I'm telling y'all, it's very possible y'all will see a 1438 minus the spread. And on that spread, I heard 1268. Now, the banker was explaining to us a while ago that
1286, Hammer. I think it was 1286, not 12.
1286, yes, sir. It's my dyslexia with numbers and in my tired head right now. Thank you for that, Blaino.
Yeah, I had my, let me jump in while I'm breathing good. I had my banker guy, no, there it goes. I had my banker guy on with us on that, and he thought that spread sounded a little on the high side. He was thinking more of a 30-40 cent spread, and I took that under advisement. But here's the thing I'm thinking. If you're talking about a $4, a $3.68 or so, $3.70 rate, say, for example, like the Kuwaiti dinar, then a 30-some cent spread between the buy and sell on the Kuwaiti dinar at that rate, well, whether we like it or not, that is the number. And the currency traders that set up shop have to be able to make $1 and, pay their help and keep the lights on and blah, 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 blah. So, if you escalate that $3.68 price by a factor to bring it up into the $14 and some range, and you do the same thing to that 30-some cent spread, well, then it does get up there, over $1 and some pretty quick, doesn't it? So maybe this near $2 spread is salutary, considering the dimensions of the numbers that we're dealing with here. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't checked lately, so let's not split hairs. But I think the Saudi Real was at like 28 cents or 31 cents or 26 cents or whatever. It's right next door. And now we're going to see, the idea of a $14 rate. Frankly, it was a little hard to get my head around that. We had a conference call earlier with a guy trying to explain the derivative base upon which this might stand. And, I've had, maybe 6 or 8 hours sleep in the last 3 or 4 days, quite literally. So it wasn't clicking for me. I do know something about financial markets and derivatives, but what he was saying wasn't, and he was just trying to help. It wasn't hitting for me, and I don't think it hit at all for you, did it, Hammer?
No, because I'm not. That's not my thing. But
yeah, I'm not casting this. And I'm not casting aspersions.
Listen, yeah, we think highly of Georgia Boy.
Yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't casting aspersions on him. He was trying to help us understand something that he admitted himself doesn't completely understand. So, that's where we're at. But I felt like there was significant information out there that we ought to look into. I'm getting from one of my people here, who's a real sharp guy. He's not pointed, but he's real sharp. SWIFT is Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, and there are many kinds of communications via SWIFT. So there you have it. If you can give me a little more there, my friend, I'll be happy to read that into the call. But that's from
I wanted to repeat something that I left out on this SWIFT before I forget, Blaino.
Yeah.
The message that we got that actually said the SWIFT signature was showing a buy and sell rate on the Iraqi dinar, is what is stated on this memo, with the figures, the 1236 and the 1436 and the 1286 was the buy and sell of the Iraqi dinar. And if we take into something Georgia Boy told us earlier, which was also speculations, but he's hearing from his sources that your taxes may be fudged into those figures. So the UST and the IRS may get their money right off the top. Is this true fact? We don't know. This was speculation of something we were talking about. It's just giving you all a thought of why there could be a $2 difference in the price. Regardless, it's astronomical if this is it. Okay, Blaino, I didn't mean to cut you off. I wanted to say that before I forgot.
Oh, that's okay. The way we've been doing our calls lately, I'm used to you cutting me off. I'm kidding, man. Here's where I'm at, in my head. If I had probably half of if I had 6 months ago, if I had half of what I got now, I would have already been proclaiming it done. And I've really tried to live in some sort of restraint. So some of my people who got a text message a few minutes ago at this hour of the morning are wondering, but I promised you guys, that I would keep you in the loop, and I've never sent this text before. And that's why I was telling some of you who've been around a while that, I'm not in a hot tub, I haven't been drinking, and I'm not lonely. I'm trying to practice a little restraint here. So you can read between the lines any way you want to on that. I posted a couple days ago that I thought it would be a real stretch to make it past Monday, and I think it's going to be a real stretch to make it past Monday. And international waters, and distances considered, I still have a big problem with, say a 440 rate inside Iraq, and this rate for us, unless this rate for us, might be getting a little more dispersion. And in fact, it could be an international exchange rate between the government of the United States and the government of Iraq for war reparations, for the loss of our troops and equipment and so on and so on and so on. Could that be a possibility? Yeah, I can't rule that out. But definitely there is something afoot that has never been afoot before, and I don't think we're going to be walking this one back. And if I felt like there was a strong possibility, a moderate possibility, or even a remote possibility that we'd have to walk this back, I wouldn't have sent that text, and we wouldn't be having this call at this time of the morning. It could have waited. And so there you are.
Blaino.
Yeah, go ahead.
I certainly hope that with this, if it's based on the amount of debt per country, that there's some kind of stipulation in there that they are making our government pay off debt instead of spend more money. Have you heard anything along that?
No,
well,
I
have heard some stuff like that. My question to the individual that was sharing that with me was simply this. So the United States has all this debt. Okay. So we've been bad. So now we get this huge exchange rate, and let's say Canada has not got all this debt, so they've been good, better than us. So they don't get as big a rate, $7, basically half. So I'm trying to get my head around that. So I'm being honest. I'm sharing with you what we got. I usually hold back, quite a bit, especially where a source is concerned, where it could hazard a person's income or lifestyle or career that they may not be quite ready to give up, and they may not want me to surrender their career for them. So I try to be conscious of that. But I don't know if there are those stipulations, but the United States was the forefront twice in the Gulf and we spent, our dearest blood, and we surrendered our heroes, our brothers and sisters, and some were mothers and fathers and so on, and to make 25 million people there free to vote without being thrown off a third-story building. I don't know if you guys saw some of the video clips, and the same thing in Afghanistan. And unfortunately, these people look at their worldview is a little different from ours. But I think Iraq has come, a very long way in a very short space of time in the grand scheme of things. So now, as far as the U.S. being forced by somebody to pay bills, I don't know. It's clear to people that know me well that I am a very conservative person. So I think that says a lot about my view of the current administration and their tactics. I hope they do the right thing. I don't have a lot of confidence in them at this point. I have a tremendous capacity for my confidence in this administration to be expanded and improved. So, that's, I guess, all I should say about that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in a hot spot here, hotter than we've ever been. We're grounded. Just have to be how it's taken. Win a lot. I know you got some stuff today. I spoke to you early this morning. Did you get anything since I talked to you about 1 o'clock that maybe you can back us up that you're hearing or anything?
I have heard exactly the same thing you guys have. I did not hear until probably 7 o'clock tonight that it was going to be different. The rate was going to be different for different countries, which I have a hard time getting my head around that too. I've never seen an exchange rate different in other countries rather than based on its own currency and exchanging it. It obviously comes out different, but I've never heard of a set exchange rate different from country to country. But I have been hearing the 14+ rate also.
Yeah, that's why I wondered if it might be a rate based on coalition participation or some factor based on expenses, because the Canadians were a part of the coalition and had equipment, personnel, and stuff on station there as well.
How would that explain China?
Yeah, China could be in there in a completely different way.
Yeah.
China's been doing some crazy things lately. And they basically went down and bought Vietnam and turned it into an enterprise zone. It's about like the United States would do in downtown Baltimore or something. The Chinese would kind of, we like that concept. We'll do that with let's buy Vietnam. So I don't know what how all of this fits together. And I've been I'm going to be honest. I've tried to stay focused on the Iraqi dinar, a little bit on the dong, and not so much on other things, but the time for confession has come. Here's my banker guy who has credentials out the frickin' zoo, okay? Credentials out in a variety of different financially related fields. Okay, so it's really hard for me to imagine. I've had some conversations with this individual at length. And he does not come across on the phone as a wide-eyed conspiracy theorist. So when after firmly establishing his credibility, at one point, then he tells me that some files have arrived in some of these banks, and these files relate to some fairly large financial. What's the word I'm looking for? Portfolios, that's the word. Some fairly large financial portfolios, and only the management staff has these files to review the distribution and the regulation of how these funds are to be dispersed. And I says, well, what is this you're talking about? He said, it's called prosperity packages. And, the top of my head came off because I hadn't decided. I vacillated back and forth on whether I believe that whole thing is legit or some kind of crazy conspiracy tale. So now, after I sewed the top of my head back on, I have to evaluate, this individual, and I was firmly convinced that he, she, they was the real deal, and consequently I have to examine my own belief now and say, well, are you a flat worlder in this regard, Blaino? Are you saying, my mind is like concrete, all mixed up and firmly set. Please don't confuse me with the facts. I've already made a decision. So I decided, to take a different view, and I don't want to be in denial of reality, and that there's absolutely no pay value for this individual to misrepresent this to me. it accomplishes nothing. So, because I had no intention before this of revealing these things. So, you better jump in here again for a minute, Hammer. I'm going to mute out for a second.
Hammer, I can jump back in on some more information if I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
I earlier in the week, 2 or 3 days ago, stumbled across some articles on CNBC website about the IMF telling Myanmar that they have to revalue their currency by the end of this month, and that they were going to have a test auction. And there's been follow-up on that article just about daily since on CNBC. If anybody wants to do a CNBC, go to their site and do a search for Myanmar currency. And what I did from there was I got on the UN site and looked at their exchange rate to ours and compared it, and started looking up countries that had that exchange rate or higher. And I found 8 more countries that have the same order from the IMF, that they must revalue their currency by the end of this month. So, yeah. That said,
yep.
It's inevitable. And if it's this weekend, that is wonderful. And if the rates are this high, that is great. But, it is in print, it is out there, and you can find it.
Yeah, one other thing I wanted to throw in for my banker guy, and he's able to access what's called the back screens, which there's one system. And I first talked about this when nobody had heard about it, and I posted on it when I was with Get Team back in November and December of 2010. And I talked about what the back screens at the banks are, and nobody had ever heard anything about this. And now, I don't have to tell you what's happening now, but I described how the system works and that there's a slight advantage in time between these banks. You and I are playing the Forex. We're playing with $3,000 or $4,000, $30,000, $100,000 of our own money. They don't care if we win or lose. If banks are playing, especially the big banks in the world are playing, they may be playing with hundreds of millions of dollars worth of currency in a trade or in a situation, and they, a couple of pips can destroy a financial institution. So these banks run, just on this back screen system a little bit differently than the Forex. They have a very, very slight advantage, which I talked about then. But anyway, my banker individual also shares with me that they got an official, a warning through several. He has the capacity to function. Some of the functions he performs are for a variety of what we call Big Four banks, and some second string to the Big Four. So he moves between those as if there were no walls, if you can follow me on that. And he had shared with me that a variety of those institutions had indicated that to their management staff that multiple worldwide currency revaluations were in play, effective immediately, and it was kind of like a warning. Keep your eyes open. This is coming, so don't be caught with your pants down. So this was an inter-industry, inter-bank, if you will, notice. So that's also worthwhile a condition, of discussion and observation. So I want to toss that back in. I'm going to get back off and let you finish, but I don't want to forget about it.
Went a lot?
Oh, I was done. I apologize. That was all I had. Go ahead, Hammer.
Okay. I'm going to back up on something I left out too. On the Swift code messages I was speaking of earlier, they were also stating 0.76 cents on the dome. 76 cents on the dome.
Holy cow.
Is it true? We don't know. I'm just repeating what was on the letterhead. We'll see more in the next day or two. For a 2 o'clock phone call, we have over 300 people on this call. Incredible. And again, are we calling the RV? No, we are not calling the RV. We're saying it's very close. Prepare yourself. You could see it tomorrow. You could see it Sunday. You could see it Monday. You could see it Tuesday. I don't think we will see Monday morning without this rate. But that don't mean I'm calling it, because my guy specifically told me it could go as far as Thursday of this week, but 95% chance that we would see this before Monday morning. You got some rates. You got some stuff to really wash through your heads. I'm begging. I'm pleading. I'm praying. I'm willing to go dance with you at your first child's wedding. Don't go spend your rent money tonight on anything you can afford. Don't go buy reserves. Don't buy the NAR. If you can't afford to lose it, don't go spend it, please. I'll do anything I can to keep you from doing that. It's not worth it. We're not that certain. Blaino, can you back me up on that one?
Yeah. Yeah, I sure can. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh, okay. I thought I'd muted out. I guess I didn't hit the button. I'm, on that dong number, I feel like, what was the guy's name? Red Fox on Sanford and Son? How much? A little bit. I'm coming to you. We're not doing this. This is a tightrope. This is a high wire to walk, okay? And another reason I went to the markers, because, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I don't want to bore everybody. But some friends of mine, in February said, hey, man, what do you think? And I said, well, I have a tremendous positive expectancy. And they thought, what do you think about the end of the month? I said, guys, I don't know. There's a couple of guys. Hold on. So in the course of the conversation, it became obvious to me that they wanted to do some kind of a reserve, and they were looking for me to grant them my, my condolence or my, whatever the word is, guys. I haven't had any sleep in a week.
Your blessing?
Anyway, my blessings. Yeah, thank you. And I said, can do, guys. And I said, if you do, you better go to the one place where you cannot lose your money. And so I'm not going there. I'm not mentioning names because I'm not trying to pump. I'm just telling you what the story was. So they didn't do it. And they called. I talked to one of them Wednesday night. I think it was Wednesday night. Or Wednesday during the day. I think their 25 million dinar reserve burned up the night before at midnight. And I told them, I just, lost it. And I said, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? So listen, people, this is a high wire that we walk between giving you information for you to process or withholding that information to help save you, I guess is the word. And I'm not your big brother, and HammerMan's not your dad or whatever. We can't tell you what to do and what not to do. But, all I can say is, if you run off and make a reserve with money that you simply can not afford to lose, I got no sympathy for you at all, not any. You've been told. But what we're trying to do is put you in position to make the best decision you can based on having the best information available. And we have worked really hard at Planet Dinar to establish ourselves as a reliable, honest broker, if you will, and not go off, off the farm, off the range, or whatever the term is. I used to have all these really good little colloquialisms, and my brain's not hitting on all 8. But anyway, off the reservation. That's it. We want you to have as much information as you can, but I got no ears of sympathy for you if you do something and this for whatever reasons. Somebody throws a satchel charge in somebody's limousine tomorrow, and this goes on a 3 or 4 week moratorium while they reassemble or reconvene or whatever it takes. I don't know, but don't be caught in that way. So I hope everybody has enough to take care of themselves and their progeny and all that. Now listen, here's something else to think of, and I've had some people tell me, that they were sitting on, 50, 60, 100 million dinar. Really? Well, when is enough enough? I mean, what is it you're trying to accomplish? I mean, are you trying to buy South America? Or, what is it you're trying to accomplish? When is enough enough? So, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Don't be a hog. Don't be greedy. if you can't read between the lines on what I've just told you, then I can't help you.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell y'all, I'm not a reserve man. I don't do them. I bought reserves on Wednesday, point blank. I felt comfortable enough. I went and bought. I buy options to buy on eBay. Let's restate. That's how I buy mine. I don't like spending that big money. I trust eBay. I bought 10 days and I bought 21 days. I feel comfortable with where we are. Am I telling you to do that? No, I am not. Make sure your bills are paid. Don't do nothing you can't. Mine just sacrificed me one weekend of going out, drinking beer, and dancing. That's all I had to sacrifice. I can live with that if this don't come true. You need to be able to eat and all that in case something don't happen. Blaino was hitting on something. I done forgot about it. Putty Tat, I think you out there. Do you want to say anything, Putty Tat? You got anything you can share? I think she's on here.
Well, while she's unmuting or whatever, I want to share something from a friend that just came across to me. And I don't know exactly where he got this or if this is his own information. He says that the U.S., and what he says is true, and the reason I want to read it into the call is because it bears repetition. The U.S. did the heavy lifting in both Gulf Wars, manpower, troops, money for support of Iraq, etc. China purchased the debt from the U.S. to make the war possible, as well as making loans to Iraq. China has also forgiven debt to Iraq, and China is probably providing the liquidity for the prosperity packages, World Global Solutions, World Global Settlements. And he says that the possibly denying China a foothold in Iraq was the real reason for the first Gulf War, and that Saddam had apparently been making overtures to China about opening up his oil fields to their use. And China was then and is now an ever-increasing world power as their markets become more and more open, along with a capitalistic sort of profile. China has the advantage of a capitalistic economy until you get to the workers, and that's where it stops. And then everything is rigidly controlled in a very communist system. And I think China's having some issues with maintaining their grip on that. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. So that's what's happening there. And this is good stuff from an old friend.
Well, that was great. I forgot some stuff I want to cover on here too, Blaino, if you don't mind again.
Go ahead. We're just jumping around. Everybody knows it's late, and I didn't want to walk on Putty Tat or whoever you were trying to bring up.
You may not have got on Putty Tat. If you need, PM me if you need mod codes. I thought I sent it to her. She was in the room, so I sent it. It's incredible to have this many people this late at night. It's unbelievable. Over 300 people this time of morning. But again, I've been PM twice about when are we going to see this on Forex and when are we going to see it on CBI. If this goes down the way that they're talking, I think it's very, 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 very unlikely you will ever see a rate on CBI or Forex. One of my contacts told me earlier, said it would only show at certain bank screens. Repeat that. This would only show on certain bank screens, because if it is different rates from country to country, it would be very hard for them to show this on Forex or CBI. And I've been saying for a long time I didn't think it would show there anyway in the beginning. So here you go with that. Don't go looking on all these places for it. Please don't call your bank tomorrow if it's going on. If you get anything like that, just don't. We won't know anything. Me and Blaino already have arranged another call, a private call with banks and UST tomorrow. If we get anything more solid, we will do a quick short notice call like we have tonight. I'm saying we will, won't we, Blaino?
Yeah, definitely. And it now our banker communication may happen by 9:30 Central Standard Time tomorrow morning. that ought to give him time to get it, and maybe even earlier than that he can get with us. Now, as soon as he's gotten with us, we will definitely get with you and share with you. So rather than tying up banks, and here's something to consider, folks. There may be some branch banks that are marginal. They're kind of betwixt and between being a big branch bank and a little branch bank. And in some of those situations, the manager may have discretion over whether or not they will take on this Iraqi dinar cash-in extravaganza. And, if they see their people totally overwhelmed by phone calls and people hitting the banks and asking 300 questions, that could push them over the edge of maybe not participating. So you could be cutting into your own cash-out availability. So settle and join us on planetdinar.com or IQD No Spin Zone, and we'll get the information there. You'll get it there as fast as we can get it. So it's one place to go. You save your phone calls. You save your access to these banks, perhaps in some situations, and you save your sanity, and you're kind of looking out for your banker a little bit too.
Well, I got one of my friends in my room here, fairly new to the room, is Up and Atom TV in the IQD No Spin Zone, has just PM'd me, and they seem to have a lot of good, solid knowledge and information here. He just PM'd me. I'm not real sure the exact what this means, but the NAN part, it says, as I reported hours ago, the NAN, N-A-N, filed to change margins on the IQD on the Forex. What is that? Brenda Winterlot, you have something on that?
I can't tell you exactly what the NAN stands for, but it's an order to change the code to change the rate on Forex. Either that. I'm with you, Blaino. I can't see him putting it on Forex for an exchange rate unless they're pairing it with each country.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd have to be pairing it with the CAD, the Canadian dollar, against the IQD, the U.S. dollar against the IQD, the pound against the IQD, so on and so forth. If they are doing that, it is possible that they are putting it on Forex. That would be the only way that they could do it. But that
could it be? Let me run some by, and I posted in a post here a few days ago. I alluded to this in a post about, some of you will remember, the stair-step possibility. Is it possible, because of the worldwide ramifications of this whole thing, that we're going to be doing something a little different from just one country doing an RV? Because we've gotten this notice that there's multiple countries resetting their currency values over the next few days. So my question is, as opposed to a traditional RV, could we, and I've gotten some rumblings on this, so I want to run it past your brain cells, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there to the 300 and whatever people that are listening, and all of you people in the future playing this call back. Could it be that we might be seeing a currency recovery program where they're looking to first provide a value in order to recover substantial amounts of this currency at these various rates from these various countries before actually establishing a set rate worldwide on the CBI and then generated through the Forex for this particular currency in order to accomplish the recovery of these currencies. I know that if it goes to banks, it'll probably wind up eventually finding its way to Bank of America, which was, and as far as I know, still remains the collector for the Treasury. So from there, it will be deposited to the Treasury. My understanding is that those notes will be destroyed in the presence of several representatives of the CBI. They'll never actually go home. They will be destroyed for credits against Iraqi oil in future. So maybe we're not seeing an RV because there isn't an RV. Maybe what we're seeing is the initial steps of a totally new animal, which is designed to recover this currency, and kind of go. So there. Now I've made my case. spit on it for me.
Yeah, I've thought something along that lines, quite similar along that lines of it coming out very high to get the currency off the streets here and other countries, and that those variations of rates could be based on how much currency's in which countries. If that is what they're doing, I would not expect that rate to stay very high very long, and it will go down. I've always thought it would come in high and settle somewhere around Kuwait, just above Kuwait, right in that area. As far as the other countries revaluing, that's what I was talking about with the Myanmar references and Malaysia and so on and so forth. There are a bunch of countries that I found in print that are going to RV by the end of the month per the IMF. So,
yeah,
I agree that it could be a revaluation, but afloat, meaning that it is coming out high and that it will settle down by Kuwait. I don't think it could be called anything but a revaluation, but it would be what a lot of people would like to refer to as a dirty float, where it's just at that stage for a very short period of time and then crashes back down to where it should be.
Well, there may not be a name. There may not be a name yet for this new animal that we're talking about.
True. Very true. This is something that's very unusual.
Now, did I hear something about Ireland or somebody repaying some debts, or Iceland or some of those Nordic countries? I think it was Iceland, repaying some massive debt to the IMF today.
It was Ireland. It was Ireland.
What a lovely country that is. Anyway, they were apparently paying back some, and I think there was something to do with Iceland or Greenland or Norway too, one of those really far northern Atlantic countries. And there was also some discussion about an influx of foreign currency as a backstop for them doing that at this moment.
That would be the only way they would be doing it at this moment, because Ireland is in as much trouble as Greece.
Yeah, I know. They're down by the bow and sinking fast, just like the Titanic.
Right. So, this could be a influx of currency into countries to remonetarize them or whatever you want to call it. It's definitely a different critter than what we've seen before. I don't think there's ever been anything like this, and I don't think there ever will be again.
I got I'm gonna let y'all know here. I invited another guest on. He might be able to help us out here. Up and Adam, are you on Up and Adam?
Yes.
I'm gonna let you kind of spill your piece a little bit. Maybe you can explain what you got.
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, hear you just fine.
All right. Well, basically, I've been following FX Street, which is live foreign exchange rates from Forex. And basically what has happened was the Iraqi dinar was trading actively, very small numbers, back and forth all day. About 9 o'clock, the net change column and the change percentage column went to NAN, or number not available, something along those lines. But anyway, the other currencies that are not actively trading at this time of night are reflecting zeros, not NAN.
Ooh, I'm pulling up Forex right now.
But it was very interesting to see, it's just the other currencies aren't doing it, and this is, so I'm thinking maybe it came off the open market.
Oh.
Interesting.
Well, that's good to hear.
I saw a print from one of the big four banks, a screenshot, where they had assessed a sell rate. They didn't have a buy rate because they weren't interested. They didn't have a sell rate. They weren't interested in selling it. But they had a buy rate, and it was at that time. This is several days ago, Tuesday, I think. It was at 11.22 because it was 11.70, and there is a spread. So the buy rate was 11.22, but they had zeros in the sell rate because they weren't interested in selling any to people. So
also
well, let me ask you a question there, if I might. Have you noticed have you been watching the Kuwaiti dinar also?
I have, yes.
Have you noticed that has not been trading at all within the last 2 days?
Well, the way it looks, about 9 o'clock is when I noticed the NAN, but before that, I had saw a plus of 1.85 percent. That's what I was seeing.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask this question then. I talked in November of 2010 about a possible double pop scenario where Iraq would come out somewhere in the middle threes, and then after some period of time, recovering 000 notes, then make a jump with Kuwait, make a concurrent jump into the middle fours or higher, and we refer to that as the double pop scenario. And then I got some information back for some fairly high up places that indicated that this in fact might be under consideration. And there was some other part of the story. I'm not going to go there. But anyway, because I'm sure not steering anything. But anyway, that this was being discussed because it clearly, it's a way to discount to themselves for the recovery of their own currency. It's kind of like buying your own stock back for less than it's worth, a lot less. So could we be entering into the setup for some kind of a what's your feeling about this lack of trading on the Kuwaiti dinar?
That's exactly what I've been wondering if they're doing.
I personally don't have as much experience as yourself, Blaine, or Hammer, but I definitely saw the Kuwaiti dinar actually looks like it was falling. Small points, nothing drastic over the last few days, and maybe that's a precursor to a jump, to a double pop like you're referring to.
Well, my point is the lack of activity on screen. When you pull up your Forex system, you've got the list of countries that are programmed in there.
Right.
It has not been showing Kuwaiti dinar ticking as it normally does, meaning changing every minute or so along with the rest of the currencies. Right. It has been showing it as stagnant and only updating it on screen 3 to 4 times a day. But if you pull up an individual chart on the Kuwaiti dinar, it's been going crazy. But they're not showing it on the main screens.
Yeah, fortunately, I don't think I could do any better than, you guys have been following this a hell of a lot longer. I'm just catching up on this as we speak. It's just something I observed.
Well, thank you for sharing what you did get, and thank you for coming to the Spin Zone, to the IQD No Spin Zone. Real quick, I want to put this out there. I want to say a hello to my number one primo source, who I believe is out on this call lurking. I'm not saying his name, but nice hearing from you again, buddy, and hope everything's well with you. And y'all may know who that is that's lurking.
All is well.
Hey, Henry, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on? Hello to the room, to all you guys, Blaino and company.
Hello, Henry.
Hi, Henry.
Thanks for joining us.
HammerMan can pull rabbits, can he? I don't even know if Henry can share it and ask him. I just asked him if he would at least say hello. He might be able to tell us that our information's good or bad, but Henry, don't get in no trouble, buddy. I just wanted to let people know you were still alive. And I haven't first talked to him in over probably 6 or 7 weeks until yesterday.
Right. That's correct. I'm still alive and well, and I'm still doing what I do.
Well, it's great to hear your voice. And I understand that you can't say nothing, so just thank you for coming on, man.
I can only say that you guys are saying it all. Everybody listen closely.
Thank you,
Henry. Thank you, man. It's really.
With that.
I mean that when I say you've been one of my best sources. You helped me a whole lot, and believe me, Henry, Blaino will tell you, I missed you. Blaino missed you. Georgia boy, a couple of them said, man, can you please get in touch with Henry and find out what's going on? I've heard this several times. Even the people that you haven't met, Jeffrey, Sheerdog, and they've all said, man, you get up to Henry's like, Henry told me a while back he had to go dark, and I respected that. And it was nice for you to appear again, and thank you, Henry. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
You were missed, and I'm glad to know you're okay. Okay, Blaino, you got anything else you can go and say, man?
Well, yeah, first of all, I wanted to extend the same feelings with respect to Henry's appearance here this evening. Very much appreciated, and we understand that it's not lightly done, and we hope you understand that it's not lightly seen. Also, I wanted to say that, I have this group of people that are able to share with me some information. So I just got a confirmation back while we've been on the phone. It was Iceland was repaying 20% of an IMF loan from last year, $900 million worth effectively. And their explanation was that a foreign currency in their country would be the backstop for that. Also, from another source that the IMF was supposed to be the lender of last resort, and they ran out of lendable currency some time back. So it looks like, this has become, that's why I thought that there might be a multi-step thing indicated here where first things first, instead of a traditional RV, that, we might be looking at some currency recovery in exchange for value, et cetera, and then go forward from there with a more traditional looking RV with a more traditional rate structure for the value of the Iraqi currency, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't know if Henry can speak to that or not. What do you think,
I think we're not going to ask Henry to say anything unless he just comes out and says it.
Yeah.
And Up and Adam, thank you for coming on. I've never spoke to him. I spoke to him in chat. I don't think you've been in the room but maybe a day or two, but I know you've been a good room flower. He keeps the room flowing.
Oh, thank you.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to get Miss Adele. She mods the calls. She knows what your number is. If you don't mind, I'm going to save your number.
Sure.
Can you make a note of that number, Miss Adele?
Okay, speak so I can pick it up.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry.
Okay, and thank you so much. Did we ever hear from Putty Tat?
No, we have to start thinking about the money we give the kids.
Putty Tat, come out and play. Well, I thought she had something, but I think, well, man, we've done a call this long, this late, Blaino. You think we need to end it?
Yeah, fairly quickly. Adele made some comment a minute ago.
Yeah, I'm not going. No Q&A tonight. For certain, it's too late. No. My brain can't wrap around that.
Yeah, no Q&A. Adele made an interesting comment to me in the back channel, wondering if this might be the resetting we were told about, where each country will now be based upon its value. Getting back to that whole basket of values in each country. Because there isn't enough gold, to back all the currency. So Adele makes a good point that this could be a methodology to establish some liquid tradable currency, the Iraqi dinar, to represent this basket of value of gold, copper, lumber, textiles, what's the word for food? Commodities, yeah. All this stuff in each individual country.
Gross domestic
because
product.
Say again, Adele?
Gross domestic product.
Yeah, because they're trying to assess a value to all that. Now, if they passed around some of this monopoly money that we call Iraqi currency in order to use that to create a universally tradable fund, if you will, for these baskets of value, this might be what we're seeing. And then that might cover the concept of each country having its own unique rate for the monopoly money that they hold. If you guys can follow me, or am I just totally Adele? Am I off the reservation here? Am I out?
Go ahead, Winalon.
Blaino, I can't agree with that one at all. I'm sorry, but if each country is going to be, when they do the global reset, and there was a link in our room yesterday about there's an Australian reporter talking about the global reset that was coming up within the next few days. So that is coming. So that is part of this. I do believe it is. But each country is going to have their currency based on what natural resources are in that country of value, be it gold, be it silver, be it rare earth, oil, whatever. Iraq has had their currency based on what they have in their country, which is an ocean of oil, a mountain of gold, and anything else that you can think of, they've got it. So their currency is based on their natural resources. Our currency is going to be based on our natural resources, which I hope they actually include all of our natural resources, and Canada and so on and so forth. That's why the difference in the currencies. That would not explain the difference in the exchange rates.
Well, what if they were doing a two-step process where they were going to say, you know what, we'll assign these variable values to this currency for the sole purpose of liquidating national debt, which is what apparently Iceland seems to think they're going to be able to do.
That, I could see them doing that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's why I asked you earlier if there was any contingencies as to these countries getting the money to pay off the debt, because that would be very possible to do.
And let's go one step further. Okay, let's go one step further and hypothetically say, what if this has to do with some of the Paris debt being forgiven?
This could be true. This could be also.
Yeah.
When you start factoring all these other little things back into play.
What a freaking history lesson.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the truth of the matter is, I think it all plays in.
Yeah, I think you might be right, Adele. You know, aside from handling the calls, I just wanted to say this. Aside from doing a really remarkable job handling our calls and keeping everything straight and working with some of our back screens. Yeah, there you go. And kind of working with our back screens in Planet and for HammerMan and his people. Adele actually has, she's possessed of a working brain, and it actually is, it's pretty well programmed and stocked full of lots of useful information, and then it's nice to have a working brain. It's even better when it's associated with an oversized heart. So that's the Adele that you hear on the background. You know, actually, Adele, I'm not too kind. I'm actually pretty honest and factually based here, I think. So it's good of you to try to wiggle off, but the truth is the truth, and this is the truth. So
we have,
you know, well, you put a real shiny facade on our calls and our image to the world, Adele, by your professional manner and handling of these things and keeping us in line, and all your little back screen messages to me to shut up, which I'll probably get here in just a second. Anyway. So let's wrap it up. It is getting awfully late. I think
I'm going to do a quick little down, if you don't mind, just real quick. I got about 6 people in my room, just one. And Corbin Dallas, if you still want me to call you, PM me. Corbin Dallas, if you still want me to call you, PM me. Mainly Shabibi, UFG, and the few other new ones that just came on. Thanks for getting on this late. Me and Blaino have been sitting on the same information for several days now. I'm not doing the whole rundown on the call. And transcribers, you don't need to worry about bringing this in the room. Brush y'all's fingers. This stuff, we've been hearing this high rate. We went on our call stating that there would be a 4-something rate, or basically around $4 rate on the call Thursday night. But I had been hearing some high rates for a few days. Got solid, not positive stuff. We got solid info today saying the rate would be $14.38. I heard it from all over. I heard it from banks. Got it from a UST Swift code, signature, transcript, or what would you call it? A photocopy of a document sent by the UST that was had the date, the rate on it it had the buy and sell rate, 12.86 and 14.38. It also had the Vietnamese dong at 76 cents. And this is coming from all over the place, not one or two sources. Me and Blaino and about 10 other people did a private call to chat it around. We had a consultant with a bank come on. I had the UST lady come on. She's hearing the same thing, 14.38. The banker. Oh, you were?
Yeah.
The banker is not hearing that rate, but he's checking into it. We have confirmed that Wells Fargo's in about 5 or 6 states, some branches are showing this exact same information I'm repeating to you. So something's going on here. In a nutshell, we don't know exactly what. We tried to summarize it on this call. We're in something happening. We expect that Blaino called RV warning, meaning imminent, it will happen soon, to his site. We're not calling a date. We're not saying it did happen. We're saying it's here. We're suspecting hopefully before Monday. That's about as fast as I can talk and run that down for you. But we've had this for a few days. We were just waiting on some crazy person to post it. We were on a call basically when Oki posted it a while ago, and we decided to come out with the real thing. And we can't say that it's even true right now.
Yeah, I think that pretty well sums it up. We went to a watch, and I get those watches and warnings turned around. I guess I thought I should go to a warning. You know, hey, warning, we have this good RV. And everybody said, no, it's a watch. And then it's a warning when you see one. It's like, well, to me, it's a watch when you see one. You know, hey, watch for it. You'll look, and they'll see it. Anyway, so I changed my verbiage, and we came out with a watch a couple of days ago. And then, well, I can't say yesterday. Earlier this morning, it's been a couple hours. Earlier this morning, just before this call, we upgraded that to a warning, which means it's imminent. So, and that's a much abused word, but after the next 36 to 48 hours, maybe even less, it might be your favorite word ever, along with soon. And I think we all need a T-shirt that says soon in all capital letters with quotes around it and an exclamation point at the end. You know, so, okay. Nice summarization of the call, HammerMan. Thanks for joining us. For those of you who were woken up by my text message or the text messages that I asked to be sent, this is proof positive you get what you pay for. Okay. Thanks again to Henry. Thanks again to Putty Tat. And everybody else that was on the call, and I apologize for being a little scattered mentally, but I just haven't had any rest for weeks.
And yes, the call was recorded. 15, maybe 20 minutes there will be in the MIG, and there will be a replay number in the IQD No Spin Zone and in PlanetDinar.com. We'll have replay numbers, and I'll get it on recaps and Dinar Detectives tomorrow morning. It's too late to get them there now. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you.
Sounds well. We're going to have it posted on Dinar Detectives tonight. It will be there in a few minutes. The playback number, www.dinardetectives.com, www.iqdnospinzone.com. Blaino, www what on yours?
www.planetdinar.com. The cutting edge of the Dinar revaluation information wave. So, and since it is the cutting edge, mind your toes. There you go.
Win a lot, Henry. Thank y'all. Blaino forgot to say win a lot. Thank you, sweetie. Wealth of knowledge again. Hope y'all enjoyed the call.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
Good night.
That's
a
wrap. Let's
Adele,
close it with this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're up to it, one more tune. Thanks. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank